Hey there, ramblers and rovers, this is Miguel, writer, adventurer, traveler, here to share with you some of my 8 favorite day trips to do out of Cancun. Cancun is known as the city of fun on the Mexican Caribbean. It has beautiful beaches, amazing nightlife and dining, and it's just an overall fun place to go visit and be at. But sometimes we just want to get to know other places outside of Cancun. So you might be wondering, well, what can I do out of Cancun if I'm staying there for 4 or 5 days or even a week or so, and I'm tired of the spectacular beaches and I'm tired of the nightlife? So these 8 day trips are the perfect escapes from Cancun. At the very least, these day trips will keep you occupied in the liminal space between when you nurse your hangover in the morning and when you go out and do it again. So before we start, here's a quick shameless plug. Remember to smash that subscribe button. It helps us grow this amazing community of ramblers and rovers from all around the world and bringing you amazing travel content and interesting stories. So with that out of the way, let's begin. Starting with number 1, Puerto Morelos. Puerto Morelos can be considered Cancun's chill cousin. It has very beautiful beaches, just like Cancun, but it has a much slower pace of life, and it's a much more chill place to be and hang out. It has great opportunities to go snorkeling. It's right in front of the Great Mesoamerican Barrier Reef, the second biggest barrier reef in the whole world, right after the Australian Great Barrier Reef. And it has tons of little bars and restaurants and little nooks and places to go into to just go exploring for a day. And the best part about this is that it is so easy to get there. You don't even need a car. All you need to do is go to the ADO station and hop on the colectivos that go to Puerto Morelos, pay something like $1.50 or $2 one way, and boom, you're in another town. So I really recommend this as like a quick little getaway where if you want to come back to Cancun early for the nightlife or to go dining or to do anything else, you can do that very easily. Let's say during the morning and early afternoon, and come back just in time to go out. Great day trip number 2 is going to be Playa del Carmen. So Playa del Carmen is another full-fledged city, very similar to Cancun, with great beaches too, amazing nightlife and dining options, and a very cool strip along 5th Avenue, Quinta Avenida. So Playa del Carmen is one of those great attractions in the Riviera Maya with tons of things to do, and certainly worth exploring if you're only just getting into Cancun and you don't want to actually stay in Playa del Carmen. Plus, from Playa del Carmen you can do all kinds of things, such as go diving on the reefs that are closer to Cozumel, or even take another separate day trip into Cozumel as the ferries to Cozumel leave from downtown Playa del Carmen. At only an hour's distance away from Cancun and easily accessible by colectivo or bus, it's a great option to go exploring outside of the city, especially if Playa del Carmen is not on your itinerary for your travels through the Riviera Maya. Cool day trip number 3 is going to be Valladolid. Valladolid is this beautiful colonial town located in the central Yucatan Peninsula, halfway between Cancun and the city of Mérida on Yucatan's western shore. It's a jumping off spot for people going into Chichen Itzá, unless you are planning on doing Chichen Itzá right out of Cancun, and it's worth exploring as an attraction in itself because it's a very beautiful town that still preserves most of its colonial architecture, and there are just so many cool things to do around Valladolid. You have Ekpalam to the north, which are Mayan ruins. You have tons of different cenotes and even a cenote in town, as well as great dining options and just kind of like a slower, more authentic Mexican way of life. The one issue with Valladolid is that it is a couple hours drive away from Cancun, so you're either going to be on the bus for a while, or it might be worth it to rent a car to drive there, especially if you're in a group, and then just drive back. It'll just be much quicker. Cool day trip out of Cancun number 4, and this is Chichen Itzá. the magnificent capital of the Isla Maya in northern Yucatan. It boasts one of the great wonders of the world, which is the castle of Kukulkan, famous throughout the world as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It certainly is worth it to go to Chichen Itzá on your travels around the Yucatan Peninsula, especially if you're into history and ancient cultures. It is an amazing and big site, and it'll take you several hours to go through. It also is quite a ways away from Cancun, like a 3 to 3.5 hour drive out of Cancun. So just be prepared for that. It's going to be a very early morning and probably a late night. If you're doing the tour out of Cancun and it includes transportation, it's perfect. You don't have to worry about it. You just have to go, show up and enjoy. But again, totally recommendable. Cool day trip out of Cancun number 5, and it's gonna be Isla Mujeres. Isla Mujeres can be considered a part of Cancun, but it's technically, you know, an island offshore from Cancun. So it's this island out of Cancun in the Mexican Caribbean, which you can access by ferry from the hotel zone or from Punta Sam. And it's just perfect to get your beach vibes in, to go relax for a day, and to just enjoy the Mexican Caribbean. So just bear in mind that the ferry there and back is gonna be kind of pricey, especially if you are backpacking on a budget. But still, if you really wanna visit this island paradise, it's totally worth it. Amazing day trip number 6, and that is going to be the Cenote Route outside of the city of Cancun. So there's a road between Puerto Morelos and Leona Vicario, which is west along the highway from Cancun, that crosses through the interior of the Yucatan Peninsula and which boasts many cenotes. So if you have never been to a cenote before, cenotes are sinkholes that form where these underground limestone caves fill up with water and then erode the top of the cave and then collapse over time, forming these amazing natural pools that are an absolute delight to swim in, especially during the hot summer months. It is a feature that is very much authentic and unique to the Yucatan Peninsula and very much worth it to do, especially if you have never done them before or if it's your first time in the Yucatan Peninsula. To get there, it's gonna be much easier if you rent a car, maybe even group up with some of the people from the hostel to form a group to visit 2 or 3 cenotes in that area and then make the drive back to Cancun. You can even do different day trips in one go in a single day if you go with enough time and with enough planning. You can even do Puerto Morelos, a couple cenotes, and then just come back along the highway towards Cancun. If you're into nature, if you like sports and swimming and beautiful places, this is the perfect activity to do. And they will not be as pricey as doing many of the other things that are available to do in Cancun. Cool day trip to do out of Cancun number 7, Playa Blanca. Playa Blanca is this semi-virgin stretch of beach that is north of Cancun, in which you can access a little more easily by car. So if you want to get out of Cancun, away from the more touristy beaches and the crowds and the blasting music and groups of frat boys that are in some of these more popular beaches in the hotel zone in Cancun, Isla Blanca and its eponymous beach, Playa Blanca, is going to be perfect for that. It's much more out of the way, so you will still get those amazing Mexican Caribbean beaches, but without the added cost of having all of these tourists around you. So perfect day trip to do with your significant other or that special little someone who you met at the hostel in Cancun. Just consider it as a part of your itinerary. Who knows? You might have a magical time there. Just be careful with the crocodiles. And number 8 is going to be diving. The ocean around Cancun is a veritable attraction within itself. The Riviera Maya boasts some of the most abundant and beautiful sea life in the entire Caribbean. As we mentioned before, the second longest barrier reef in the world is located right offshore from the Yucatan Peninsula, and there are tons of different reefs, like in Punta Nizuc, which is very close to the Cancun hotel zone, where you can go and snorkel or dive and see amazing fish or different kinds of bigger species. I've seen everything from nurse sharks to manta rays, sea turtles. It's just very common to see this amazing wildlife there, totally worth it if you're into aqua sports and especially if you're into diving. So I hope this video gave you some cool ideas of things to do out of Cancun. If it did, remember to like this video, smash that subscribe button. It helps us grow this amazing community of ramblers and rovers just like you, and it supports us in our mission of bringing you the beauty, the interesting, and the amazing from all around the world. So until our next adventures, amigos, safe travels. Adios.